When the Z5 Mark II first came out, everyone loved it. It's a 24 megapixel camera with the latest processors from Nikon, so you get the same eye tracking as a Z8, Z9, Z6 III, with a flip screen, 2 card slots, and 4K 60. So a really, really solid upgrade from the Mark I. But I think there's one thing that most reviewers and most people aren't really thinking about when it comes to the Z5 II, and that's its amazing hybrid potential, because it's one of the few cameras that can do internal RAW to an SD card. And that's where things get really interesting. So today we're going to do a deep dive on the Z5 II as a hybrid camera, a little bit of advice on different workflows you can use to get the best out of the camera, and most importantly, answer the question, how good is this as an entry-level hybrid camera? One of the reasons I think this is such a fantastic deal is actually the price itself. Now, I'm in the UK, so context is important, and the camera here is $1,599 as of today. Of course, it could be different by the time you're watching it, or if you're watching it from another country. Now, for that price point, you can certainly find some cameras that are going to tick some of the boxes that the Z5 II ticks, but not all of them, and certainly not at that price. Now, the camera, just to give you a very quick run through, it's 24 megapixel with in-body stabilization and the latest technology when it comes to autofocus. You also get headphone and microphone input, flip screen, 2 card slots, great battery life with the ability of taking extra battery grips as well, a beautiful bright viewfinder, which is pretty rare actually at that price point, and you get 4K 60 in N-Log, and most importantly, 12-bit Nikon RAW to an SD card. And that is the game-changing feature which we're going to be discussing in this video to see how good can it really be. So there's actually 3 ways that you can use this camera. You can shoot in 12-bit NRAW, you can shoot 10-bit N-Log, or you can just choose any of the SDR modes. So you can shoot in 8-bit SDR, or you can have 10-bit SDR as well. And that's actually how I shoot all of my YouTube content. So right now, the video that you're watching is 10-bit SDR in the standard profile. It's quick, it's easy, I can just get down, start filming and not really have to worry about the grade so much. But if I want to do the odd touch-ups here and there, I still have some flexibility because I'm shooting in 10-bit as opposed to doing it in standard 8-bit. Now the Z5 II actually has a really neat trick up its sleeve, which is called Nikon Imaging Cloud. So if you're a little bit like me and for social media you just want to shoot SDR, then you can go on the Nikon Imaging Cloud website once you're connected to the camera, and you can select a bunch of presets or picture controls from a variety of filmmakers and photographers, and you can use their creative styles straight into the camera and record video with it, which I think is absolutely fantastic. You also have a selection of curated picture controls straight from RED, so if you want a little bit more of that cinematic RED digital cinema look, then you can download them from there as well. Now keep in mind, these are pretty standard picture controls in SDR, so you're going to be limited with what you can do in post. But if you just want to shoot a little bit for social media, then I think they're going to be absolutely perfect. Now, if you're looking to get even more out of the camera, you of course have 10-bit N-Log and 12-bit N-RAW. Now, with 10-bit N-Log, you can go all the way up to 4K 60. Just bear in mind that it's full frame up to 30, and your 50 and 60 frames per second modes will be a 1.5 times crop, or a DX as Nikon likes to call it. Whereas when you go over to NRAW, you don't have the 50 and 60 frames option at all. It's just 25 or 30, for example. Now I think it's time for me to be just a little bit controversial, because when the Z5 II first came out, a lot of the YouTubers got their hands on it, they took it to the lab, they did a bunch of tests, and collectively they all found that the NRAW footage is a little bit softer comparing to the N-Log footage, and that's completely true. However, my recommendation based on my experience and more importantly my opinion is that you should be really shooting in NRAW. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and we'll get into it right away. Now the first reason is actually file size, which on this camera for 4K RAW is actually quite small. So you can get 21 minutes in 4K 25 NRAW to an SD card, which is nuts on this camera. And for comparison, you can record about 35 minutes of video in 4K 25 N-Log as well. Now, of course, the N-Log is going to be more efficient on your memory cards because it's using H.265. However, keep in mind that in 21 minutes, 4K RAW with a proxy attached as well is actually very, very small for that type of format. Secondly, also the camera shoots to SD cards. You're not going to get a camera that shoots RAW 4K to an SD card, definitely not at this price point. Really convenient, shoots both your RAW file and a proxy directly to a single SD card, and because of the lower data rates, it means that you don't have to get a crazy expensive memory card to shoot RAW. Now, the next reason is actually resolution, but not in the way that you expect. Now, when you shoot H.265 with this camera, you're actually shooting UHD, which is not true 4K. It's actually under 4,000 pixels, whereas when you shoot in NRAW, you get over 4,000 pixels, which is really nice when you're matching it to other cameras that do shoot true 4K, such as RED cinema cameras, for example. However, tackling the elephant in the room head on, yes, N-Log will produce a sharper image out of the box. However, I would argue that when has sharpness ever been a concern for the average filmmaker? I mean, cinema lenses generally are quite soft compared to stills lenses, and filmmakers are always chasing a slightly softer look. So personally, again, this is all my personal opinion, I don't think we need to be chasing the sharpest image every time, especially when I'm shooting people. I'm usually putting a Pro Mist filter or I'm grading it to make it a little bit softer anyway. So the fact that the Z5 II doesn't produce an overly sharp image in NRAW is actually perfect for my use case, but I'm going to leave plenty of footage around this video for you guys to have a look at and actually judge for yourself, because I think the Z5 II's NRAW footage is plenty sharp and definitely not lacking for detail, but it's just not going to be quite as sharp as N-Log. Now, the trick with this camera is actually to not use N-Log at all. Now, you may notice that the camera in H.265 can only shoot in N-Log, or you're back in SDR, and with NRAW it's the same. You can shoot in SDR or you can shoot in N-Log. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is he talking about? And after the acquisition of RED by Nikon, actually quite a few things have opened up. One of the things being that Nikon cameras are now fully supported in RED's Cine X software. Now, RED Cine X is a perfectly free and good software for you to manage your RAW files. And the really exciting thing that you can do with RED Cine X is actually import the NRAW files from the Z5 II and make a lot of changes. So let's get into that now. So just to recap, if you're still thinking about shooting N-Log, keep in mind that when you bring N-Log files into DaVinci, for example, you can change a few things, but you're still not gonna have as much control as you do for RAW. For example, when you push and pull your white balance, there will be a certain limit where you're gonna see the image start to degrade. Whereas with the RAW format, whether you do it in DaVinci or RED Cine X, as I'm about to show you, you can push and pull the white balance freely without affecting the image itself. So it's a really powerful tool, and there's definitely a whole lot more stuff that you can change with RAW that you can't do with standard N-Log. Now, here are the differences of using RED Cine X versus using just regular DaVinci. When you bring a NRAW file into DaVinci, you have a couple of things that you can change. You can change sharpness, there's an exposure slider that is going to give you a lot more control than your standard N-Log without losing image quality. When you change the white balance, that's also free because it is a RAW format, so you can freely change your white balance without affecting the image quality that you get. However, when you bring the Nikon RAW file inside RED Cine X, that's when a whole host of other options are going to open for you in a very, very easy way. Because RED Cine X is going to interpret the Nikon RAW files as if they are RED RAW files, which give you a whole lot more control over the image, starting with a specific ISO slider. So as opposed to DaVinci and Premiere that only give you an exposure slider, you have that too, but on top of that, you have a ISO slider. So you can control in a much better way exactly what exposure you want in your image, which means, yes, you can change your ISO after you shot, which is crazy if you've never used RAW before. This is definitely going to be a big step up to what you're used to. The other thing that you can do, which I think is fantastic, and I use this all the time, is the highlight roll-off and the contrast. So you can dial in exactly how much contrast you want in the raw file, as well as the highlight roll-off, and it makes a big, big difference to your image. Here are some examples of what that looks like in action, and as you can see, it makes a huge, huge difference to the overall look and feel of the image. You can also add a LUT and do some basic color grading on here if you want, because the great thing about RED Cine X, seeing it as a RED raw file, is the fact that it thinks that you're working in log 3G10. And that brings me back to what I said before, don't work in nlog, work in log 3G10. Now, the main bit of workflow that this allows you to do is actually to do your main changes like ISO, highlight roll-off, all of that sort of stuff, and then you can actually export as a ProRes file, for example, in log 3G10, which in my opinion is a superior log format comparing to Nikon's nlog, making it better for color grading and even making it possible to use RED's creative LUTs as a starting point, which I think is really, really good. Now, you can choose what type of format you want to export it to, but personally, I would recommend ProRes 444 because then you don't lose any image quality, and now you're essentially editing a log 3G10 file in 4K from the Z5 Mark II, making it a really, really powerful tool for filmmaking. So as you can see from the images, skin tones, highlights, shadows, it's all retained so much better in the NRAW files, and they're really not that much bigger than the nlog. So I would really recommend that everyone shoots in NRAW unless they need absolutely the best sharpness possible. And then of course, you've always got the nlog there as an option. But the fact that this camera can do both to an SD card, mind you, especially in 2026 with CF Express prices going crazy, I think this is a fantastic deal for anyone looking to get their first mirrorless camera or their first full frame camera and they want to get into filmmaking. Maybe they want to do a little bit of photos with video as well. I think the Z5 Mark II is an unbelievably good camera at that price point, especially with the NRAW integration, changing it to log 3G10 and all of that crazy stuff. Definitely don't sleep on the Z5 Mark II. So I just wanted to have a quick overview on how NRAW works on the Z5 II and if it makes it an excellent choice for a hybrid camera. And the answer is absolutely yes. The main reason being the price. You just cannot compete with the feature set for this price with any other camera. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to see a more thorough review of the Z5 II, please comment down below alongside any other questions that you might have. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you could please like and subscribe, that really helps out the channel a lot. And I'll see you next time.